Tension fills the Senate on January 14, 2026, as the chamber becomes the stage for one of the most consequential debates in recent memory. The air is thick with anticipation, and every senator knows the gravity of the moment. Lawmakers pore over last-minute documents, consulting aides and reviewing the language of the resolution, as they prepare for a decisive vote on war powers that could alter the course of American governance. The central issue at stake is clear. Who truly holds the authority to send American troops into harm's way? The President, acting as Commander-in-Chief, or Congress, representing the will of the people? This heated debate was ignited by a dramatic U.S. military operation in Venezuela, which resulted in the capture of Nicolas Maduro. The mission's success shocked the world and immediately thrust the question of war powers into the national spotlight. The aftermath has fractured the Republican Party, with several prominent GOP senators breaking ranks and joining Democrats to challenge President Trump's unilateral decision-making. The stakes could not be higher. The outcome of this vote may redefine the delicate balance of power between the executive and legislative branches, setting a precedent for future military interventions. President Trump ordered the operation swiftly and decisively, bypassing congressional approval. While some hail the move as bold leadership, others see it as a dangerous overreach that undermines the Constitution. In response, a bipartisan coalition of senators has introduced a resolution aimed at reasserting Congress's constitutional authority over future military actions, especially in volatile regions like South America. Today's vote is more than just political theater. It is a defining test of America's system of checks and balances, and a moment that will be studied for generations. Across the nation, Americans watch anxiously as senators weigh their party loyalties against their sworn constitutional duties, knowing that the world is watching too. The question looms large. Will Congress reclaim its war powers, or will the president's authority to act unilaterally in matters of war expand even further? Dissenting Republicans now face immense pressure, not only from party leadership, but also from the president's passionate base, who see any challenge as a betrayal. The decisions made in this chamber today could reshape American foreign policy and the nation's role on the world stage for years, if not decades, to come. As the echoes of the vote fade, the consequences of this historic decision will reverberate far beyond the Senate chamber, affecting not just the balance of power in Washington, but the lives of millions at home and abroad. On the night of January 3, 2026, under the cover of darkness, U.S. Special Forces initiated Operation Condor's flight in the heart of Caracas, Venezuela. The city was tense, its streets patrolled by loyalist forces, but the operation moved with silent precision. Their high-value target, Nicolas Maduro, the embattled Venezuelan president, long accused by U.S. authorities of narco-terrorism and orchestrating a vast international drug trafficking network. For years, Maduro had evaded capture, shielded by layers of security and political chaos. The mission, personally authorized by President Trump after weeks of secret deliberations, was executed with remarkable speed and precision. In a matter of minutes, special forces breached Maduro's compound. Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were apprehended with minimal resistance, their inner circle caught off guard. Within hours, the captured couple was discreetly transported to a secure airfield. Under heavy guard, they boarded a government plane bound for New York City, where U.S. authorities awaited their arrival. The world watched in disbelief as the news broke. Images of Maduro, once a powerful head of state, entering a federal courthouse in handcuffs, stunned the international community and sent shockwaves through Latin America. The Trump administration wasted no time in celebrating the operation, hailing it as a landmark victory for American national security, and a decisive blow against tyranny and corruption in the Western Hemisphere. Supporters across the country praised the president's boldness and resolve, seeing the mission as a testament to American strength. Yet, the unilateral nature of the action sparked immediate controversy and alarmed many in Congress. Lawmakers from both parties questioned the precedent set by bypassing congressional approval for such a high-stakes military operation, raising concerns about the erosion of legislative oversight. The operation's dramatic success quickly became the catalyst for a fierce and highly publicized debate over presidential war powers, executive authority, and the future of American intervention abroad. While few mourned Maduro's downfall, many Americans and legal experts voiced deep fears about the dangers of unchecked executive power and the potential for future overreach. In response, the Senate moved swiftly, introducing a war powers resolution designed to reassert congressional authority and address the urgent constitutional questions raised by the operation. With the nation divided, and the world watching, the stage was set for a historic constitutional showdown that would test the very limits of American democracy. The Venezuela operation triggered a wave of urgency and debate in Washington, as lawmakers from both parties recognized the gravity of the moment. Swift action followed on Capitol Hill, with corridors buzzing as senators and representatives rushed to respond to the unfolding crisis. In a rare show of unity, a bipartisan Senate coalition quickly introduced a resolution designed to limit President Trump's ability to launch further military actions in Venezuela without explicit congressional approval. The resolution doesn't attempt to reverse Maduro's capture, but instead seeks to prevent any unauthorized escalation or new military interventions. Its carefully crafted language reasserts Congress's constitutional authority to declare war, reminding both the executive branch and the public of the checks and balances at the heart of American democracy. On January 8th, after hours of heated debate and negotiation, the Senate narrowly advanced the measure, thanks to 5 Republican senators who broke ranks with their party. Their defection was a striking signal of deep concern about executive overreach, even among those who typically supported President Trump's policies. Senators Hawley, Murkowski, Paul, Collins, and Young formed a diverse bloc. Libertarians, moderates, and constitutional conservatives, each motivated by a shared belief in the importance of congressional oversight. Their pivotal votes demonstrated that the war powers debate is not just a partisan issue, but one that cuts across ideological lines and speaks to the core of American governance. The move underscored the seriousness of the constitutional questions at stake, as lawmakers grappled with the balance of power between Congress and the president. The Senate's message was clear: Congress will not be sidelined in decisions of war and peace, and the nation's elected representatives demand a voice in matters of life and death. As the final vote looms, the nation's eyes are fixed on the outcome, with Americans everywhere watching to see whether Congress will reclaim its constitutional role in shaping the country's foreign policy. President Trump's response to the GOP defections was swift and unforgiving. He denounced the 5 senators on social media, calling their votes a threat to national security. MAGA influencers and media allies unleashed a torrent of criticism, especially targeting Josh Hawley. Hawley, once seen as a Trump heir, was branded a traitor and a rhino. The backlash was intense, party loyalty enforced with public shaming and threats of primary challenges. For Trump's base, the Venezuela operation proved his strength. Any attempt to limit his power was seen as sabotage. The dissenters now face political peril, caught between principle and the wrath of their own party. The message from Trump's camp is clear: dissent will not be tolerated. The stakes for these senators are personal and profound. Despite the backlash, Senator Hawley stood firm, defending his vote as a matter of constitutional principle. He explained on social media, "If the president wants boots on the ground, Congress must vote." Hawley sought assurances from Trump and top officials that the Venezuela mission wouldn't escalate into a ground war. After receiving those assurances, he argued his vote had forced needed clarity from the administration. Hawley's stance is a balancing act, upholding constitutional limits while supporting the mission's goals. He appeals to conservatives who value both strong leadership and the rule of law. Whether this defense will satisfy the MAGA base remains uncertain. Hawley's political future now hinges on how his argument resonates with voters. The episode highlights the risks of challenging a powerful president, even for principled reasons. This isn't Hawley's first break with Trump. In 2023, he clashed with the president over banning congressional stock trading, refusing to back down. He also criticized Trump's Medicaid reforms in 2025, voicing concerns for his constituents. These moments reveal a pattern. Hawley is willing to challenge Trump on principle, even at political cost. Some see this as a calculated strategy to build an independent brand for a post-Trump GOP. Each clash adds to Hawley's profile as a leader with his own priorities. The war powers debate is just the latest and most high-stakes chapter. Hawley's high-profile stand has fueled speculation about his ambitions for 2028. Is his vote about principle, or a calculated move to distinguish himself from Trump loyalists? By challenging the president, Hawley appeals to constitutional conservatives and voters weary of party drama. It's a risky strategy, Trump's Venezuela operation is popular with the GOP base, and backlash is fierce. Hawley bets that in time, his image as a principled leader will outlast the controversy. His background as a constitutional lawyer lends credibility to his stance. Still, he's acutely aware of the political risks. Hawley is gambling that the future GOP will reward independence and principle. The War Powers Resolution of 1973, born from the Vietnam War, is at the heart of today's Senate fight. It requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours of military action and limits deployments without congressional approval. Every president since Nixon has challenged its constitutionality, claiming it infringes on executive power. Congress insists it's a vital check on unilateral war-making. This unresolved tension is the backdrop for the Venezuela debate. Trump's rejection of the War Powers Act echoes decades of executive resistance. The Senate's pushback is the latest round in a 50-year struggle over war and peace. The outcome will shape how future conflicts are waged and who decides. No matter the vote's outcome, the Venezuela war powers debate has already changed Washington. It's exposed deep GOP divisions and reignited the struggle between Congress and the White House. If the resolution passes, it's a rare rebuke of presidential power, even if a Trump veto is likely. The real impact may be symbolic, setting a precedent for future congressional assertiveness. The backlash against dissenters shows Trump's enduring grip on the party. Yet, the willingness of some Republicans to defy him hints at a possible shift toward constitutional conservatism. The party's future may hinge on which vision prevails. This episode is a vivid reminder that the balance of power is always in flux. Each new conflict revives old debates about war, peace, and who decides. The choices made today will echo in America's foreign policy for years to come.